Hi, everybody. It is Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come on in, sellers. Oh, I have such a great eBay sales tip for you. This is one that I use myself over and over and over and over. It's a fantastic sales tip that really helps you with your listings, and you can use it whether you're selling on desktop or mobile, because I know we're all different. Also, it doesn't matter what category you're in. You can be in home and garden. You can be in clothing. You can be in high-end clothing. You can be in more moderate price clothing. You can be in kids' toys, puzzles, games, home decor, pet products, which is really an exploding category. Also, business. The great thing about eBay selling is that truly you can sell anything on eBay. There's such an amazing variety of things. But when you're selling the variety of items, one of the things that's going to really help you with your selling, first of all, great pictures, but to know the language of the buyer, the language of the products, the keywords, the phrases, the terms that buyers are going to be using in search when they're looking for the item. Every category is different, different kinds of items are different, and it can be really hard to stay on top of it. So this is the tip that I've got for you, and it's something that you can use really anywhere, and again, for any category. So this is what I was going to share with you. So if you don't know, my background is performing arts. It's one of the reasons that I moved to New York City and that I live in New York City. Um, and I'm an actress, and I have done off-Broadway shows. I've done regional, I've done television. And in several of the roles that I've played over the years, I had to use an accent. I had to use an Irish accent or different kinds of British accents. And in learning accents, there's tapes that you can listen to, there's books, you go to coaches, and they help you with whatever the dialogue is, the text that you're reading, to say it with the correct accent for the character that you're cast in, whether it's a play or a movie or TV. Um, and I remember when I was learning, it was a British accent. What really helped me was to listen to native British speakers and to listen to their accent, because it was good to read it. And it was good to listen to the recordings that I had that are teaching you how to do the different vowels and the different consonants. But what really helps me was to listen to, I listened to a lot of old, wonderful British movies and really listen to their accents so that I could then, it's just listen. It's like immersion, right? I know a lot of people learn languages by immersion. So you might have like a working knowledge of French or of Spanish or of German, but the way you really get it grounded is spending time with people that are native speakers, okay? Because you're just hearing it over and over and over. So, well, the same thing for accents. So I would just listen to these British films, and literally I was just playing them over and over. I'd walk into the house, I'd flip on a film, just listening to really get the accent down. And this is my tip for you, because this is something that I did for years when I presented on QVC. And if you don't know, I was a product presenter on QVC for over 6 years. And when you're presenting on QVC, let's say you're going to present at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Typically, you would be there at least 2 hours ahead of that, because you would need to meet with the host of the show before the host goes on. And the hosts are on sometimes for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. It just depends on their schedule. So you meet with the host, you go over the product, then the host goes on, they're doing the thing, and you're there until you go on. You're preparing your set, for me, doing my hair and makeup. But you hang out in a green room area. And in the green room, it's all the other presenters are in there too, is they have monitors. So you're watching whatever the show is on, you're watching the presenter and you're watching the host. And they also had screens where you could see the sales. So, I would be presenting and you could see, okay, her sales, all of a sudden it spikes. So for me, watching, what was really interesting was to listen to what part of the sale was really working. Was it when they were showing this part of it? For instance, like with a shirt, was it when they were showing off the sleeve length? Or was it when they were showing off the neck? Or was it when they were showing off the design? What was it that triggered the sales? What language, what terms was really resonating with the buyer? And I was on QVC for well over 6 years. So I spent 6 years, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours listening to people present clothes and jewelry and hair products and makeup and home and garden. QVC very much like eBay, a lot of different things. So, and I saw people sell all kinds of home decor and table settings and shoes, lots of shoes. I happen to really like shoes. Shoes, just on and on and on and on and on. And you learn the language, the language, the language, the language. What are they saying about it? What qualities? What is the buyer interested in? So then when I started selling on eBay, and I started with things that I knew. So for me, that was vintage films. Because with my performing arts background, it's something that I loved. I love films from the 40s and the 50s. Then as I started to branch out, so let's say I started to sell, I've got this water bottle. Let's say I start to sell water bottles. I started to use what I had learned on QVC, which was I would go on TV, and you can do this with TV, you can do this with video, you can do this with podcasts. But I like the visual. I like to see as well as to hear, because I learned both ways. I learned by reading, I learned by seeing, and I learned by hearing. And all of us learn differently. Some of us were more visual, some of us are less visual. I find I need all. So, for instance, so let's say I was selling, this actually happened. I was selling a lot of cooking, a lot of kitchen items. So, what I started to do was find cooking shows. And I would just listen to cooking shows and listen to cooking shows and listening to cooking shows. And what I was looking for, what I was listening to was hosts that really talk a lot of language, like how they're preparing it and why they're preparing things that way. What language do they use in food preparation? What is the language about the food, about the pots and pans, about the utensils that they're using? And just listening and listening and listening. So then when I go to list cookbooks where I list pots and pans, I already have a really great knowledge of the different terms that are used by people that are cooking. And for instance, like with cooking, it's different language if it's more of a chef and more somebody who's more of a casual cook, but a very passionate cook. This applies to any category. So for instance, let's say I sell a lot of jewelry, and QVC was always really good on jewelry, by the way, is then you find shows that are about jewelry where they're selling jewelry. QVC can be a great one for that. And you can tell by the guide, like what they're selling, like one's a computer hour, and then they have a jewelry hour, and they might have a pearl hour, and then they've got a shoe hour. Then it's a home decor hour. Is listen to shows like QVC, but there's a lot of talk shows. There's a lot of themed shows like travel. If I was to be selling a lot of travel items or a lot of cruise items, things that would be used on cruises, I would start to look for reality shows that are about travel, cruise, fashion. If I'm somebody with fashion, then you're going to start to look for those shows. Where are shows where they're critiquing fashion? They're critiquing the different designers. So for instance, like in New York, they have Fashion Week. I'm looking for shows that are critiquing Fashion Week. They're talking about the different trends, okay? So no matter what category you're selling in, toys, home decor, gardening is a great one. There's a ton of great gardening shows. Food is another great one. But think about it with food. It's cookbooks, it's the utensils, it's pots and pans. It can also be setting your table. Okay, so look for different shows that are about home, garden, fashion, and different kinds of fashion, jewelry, whatever the different categories you are that you're selling in, that's what you're looking for. Because and you can just throw it in the background. So as you're going through and you're making yourself lunch or you're packing your bag to go out the door, is that you're listening. And then what you start to do is start to jot down the keywords that really jump out at you. Are they talking about color? New York City. New York City. Clarity, size, use. Are they talking about how it's used? Write it down. Why? Those are keywords. It's also usage. Those are the terms, New York's acting up. Those are the terms that your buyers are using, searching for your items. I was actually working with a couple of sellers this week with getting good keywords for their items. And one seller I was working with because of the items that they had, they were missing some really good keywords in their titles, which is really important because so many shoppers now are on mobile. So you really want those keywords up in your title because people are looking at your picture and they're looking at your title. Keywords tell eBay what your item is so they can index it correctly. It is the food that's fed to search. So when a shopper comes on and they're looking for egg flipper, or they're looking for omelet pan, or they're looking for carry-on bag, that your item will show up because you are using the correct keywords. And if you miss the keyword, eBay does not know what your item is, and you will not be found in search for that search. And that's when people come to me and they're going, I know this is a great item. I know I've got it priced right, but for some reason, I'm just not getting sales. It's typically your keywords. Okay, good. Now, what I've done is I've got a great guide for you. It's called Keyword Domination to Explode eBay Sales. I have it half off. Now, it's only half off until Friday night. So it's only half off for another day. And you do want to grab it while it's half off. It's a great, 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 great guide. I've gotten all kinds of feedback, people jumping in and using it and seeing results within 24, 48 hours. So you do want to hop over to my website, ilovetobeselling.com, and get Keyword Domination to Explode eBay Sales while it's half off. And a portion of the proceeds from Keyword Domination are going to go to my friend, Shine Award winner, Lorianne Wong's Food Pantry in Atlanta, to help the people that are in need there. But grab this because literally one keyword can make all the difference, because that one keyword or those two keywords, all of a sudden then eBay knows what your item is, and you want the right keywords, knows what it is, so then your item is showed to a shopper that's interested in that. I don't want to be shown to just any shopper. I want to be shown to a shopper that is looking for what I'm selling or the type of item that I'm selling. That's what your keywords do. Hi, Brenda, how are you? So hop over to my website, I Love to Be Selling, grab Keyword Domination to Explode eBay Sales, and get to work, excuse me, and you're going to get the keywords that work for you. It's a guide, explains all about keywords, what they are, why you need them, how they work in your items. And then I give you examples of using the keywords in your listing. So I literally show you how to do it. And then I have some keyword lists to get your creative juices going so that you understand what they are and how to use them. But they make all the difference. They are the food that feeds eBay search and Google search. And they will absolutely help you to explode your eBay sales. So grab that guide while it's half off. Okay? Great, everybody. Bye-bye.